Thank you so much. It's an honor to be back here. Hopefully I won't blow away while I'm up here. But one of the things I've been blessed to do, my son, it's been almost 6 years since he died. And one of the things I've dedicated my life to is to the troops, to their families, and to the families of the fallen. As he said, I do understand. Freedom is not free. That's not just a slogan for our family. We have dearly paid a deep price for our freedoms. But as the Tea Party Express has traveled the country, one of the things we want to make sure that we do is make sure that you vets know you're loved, you're appreciated, that you're not forgotten. So if you have served, would you please wave your hand high and keep waving it so we can thank you for your sacrifice and your service to this country. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you back there. All of you, thank you so much. I wake up every single morning and I enjoy the freedoms I have because of each one of you. And if you would meet me afterwards at the table, I have a thank you card for you. August 2nd, 2006 was a day that forever changed my life when I received news that my son, Mark Allen Lee, had been killed in action. They were in Ramadi, Iraq, and you may remember Ramadi in 2006 was a terrible, terrible place. Mark's teammates said it was the worst piece of real estate over there, the hellhole of Iraq. There were 4 SEALs that had been fighting for 2 hours in an intense firefight. It was 115, 120 degrees that day. I live in Arizona, and sometimes I experience those temperatures, but I can't imagine doing anything extreme like that for 2 hours. Mark stood about 6 foot tall. He weighed about 200 pounds, and he carried the big gun, the M60. So he carried anywhere from 150 to 180 pounds in addition to his own weight. How you do that in 115, 120 degree temperatures for 2 hours is beyond me. Those 4 SEALs on the rooftop watched as their buddy Ryan had bullets hit his weapon, and he had severe shrapnel injuries to the head. He fell to the ground, and they could tell by looking at him it didn't look good. They didn't know if he would survive the next few moments. 2 of the SEALs made the choice to drop to their knees to help Ryan. This young man made the choice to stand up in the direct line of fire, hoping the enemy would see him and fire on him so the medic could sneak up to the roof. The medic got up there and he took one look at Ryan and he said, "We got to get him out of here immediately or there's no chance for survival." So not once, but a second time, Mark made that choice to stand up into the direct line of fire to provide the cover so they could get down off of that roof. They all successfully got down off of that roof and they sent Ryan off for medical attention. They climbed in their Bradleys and headed back to the base, which was named Camp Mark Lee in his memory. We have watched our Navy SEALs do some amazing things. Just a year ago today, they captured Osama bin Laden. And they seem superhuman to us. But that was Mark's final gift to me, was his teammates. I know these men well. I know they were exhausted emotionally, physically, and as they got back to that base, they didn't know if Ryan was going to live or not. And they ripped off their gear and they started to get some water to refresh themselves. And the chief came in, said, "We just found 30 of the insurgents that just attacked us. You guys up to going back out?" Mark looked at his chief and he said, "Roger that, let's go get them." So they climbed in their Bradleys and they headed back to that godforsaken place. They cleared several houses. They went in the last house that Mark would be in. Cleared the bottom of the house and they started to go up the steps and they heard Mark yell, "On me!" And the guys knew that meant he was going to take the lead and they were to follow. And as they went up those steps, they took fire through a window. And for the last and final time, this young man made the choice to turn into that line of fire. He didn't run from that line of fire. And he did that for his buddies. He sacrificed his life so they could live. But he didn't do that just for his buddies. He did that for every one of you that are sitting here today. He did that for this country that he so loved. He did that for the freedoms that our founding fathers intended for us to have. He took off his boots, he laid down his weapon, and I picked those up. And on my watch, I will not stand by and watch them take those freedoms away from us. I have 2 letters from 2 separate presidents, one that was a real commander-in-chief, that was written the night he received a letter from me. The other that was sent 7 months after I sent Obama a letter that's stamped on the bottom. It's a form letter. He didn't even take the time to sign that letter. And so when I hear him say, a year ago today, when he told how much the capture meant and how proud he was and the gutsy choice he made, which I can tell you is a lie, he was brought in at the last minute. But to hear him say he signed that letter personally appalled me. It disgusted me to hear him lie again. And that's why we need to get that man out. He says he supports our troops. He sends his wife and Jill Biden out on a campaign to support our troops and raise awareness. And yet we watch his actions, and what does he do with his actions? He cuts the budget. He increases their health care premiums. He doesn't give them rules of engagement that let him be successful and win over there. He's jeopardizing our troops. And then he stands and he meets with the troops the other day. And he says, I got your back. I'll tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, all he has for our troops in the back is a knife, and I'm sick and tired of it. I won't stand by and watch this any longer, not on my watch. We need to make a difference. We can't do this alone. Those of you that are here today are probably all registered voters, so I'm probably speaking to the choir. But we need to get others to get to the polls. As Kay said earlier, we've got so many in our churches that are complacent. We owe it to this young man. He sacrificed his life for this country. We owe it to all of these who served and raised their hand today. We have got to take America back. And I want to know from you, will you say the same thing that my son said? Will you say, Roger that, let's go get them, let's take our country back? I miss that young man so much, but I'm so proud of the sacrifice he made for his country, and I won't stand by and watch it be stripped away from us. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you again to our troops who sacrificed and served for me. God bless America, and God bless our troops.